channel, The Scenic Traveler. My name is Erin, and in today's video I'm taking you around Chicago to see some of my favorite places during the fall. Chicago in the fall is a different city. The lake wind carries a sharper edge, trees along the boulevards burn red and gold, and the skyline glows in that low afternoon light. Summer's noise fades, and you start to notice details. A leaf crunching underfoot, smoke from a food cart curling into the air, the echo of footsteps in a quiet park. This is Chicago I want to show you today. The places where the season changes not just how the city looks, but how it feels to walk through it. Next up on my list is personally my favorite. I'm slightly biased because I live here in this part of Chicago, but it is Lincoln Park. Not only is the whole neighborhood beautiful because there's so many beautiful old historic houses and charming Halloween decorations, but the best part is the park within Lincoln Park, because not only does it have a free zoo, but it has a conservatory, a beautiful Lincoln Park pond, and you're also a block from the lakefront. So again, this is my favorite area, and come along with me as I show you some of the best things about this area in the fall. And if you're also here as a bonus, on Saturdays or Wednesdays, they have the farmers market in Lincoln Park, which is quite big and expansive, and I love coming to every week. Chicago's farmers markets and autumns are a living color palette. Stalls spill over with pumpkins, crimson apples, squash the shade of late afternoon sunlight. But what makes these markets special is how they connect the city. Green City, Logan Square, Wicker Park, Andersonville, each one reflecting his neighborhood. Lincoln Park, in my opinion, again, slightly biased, but has really great restaurants and bars to come to if you're coming to this area of the city. So you can definitely make a day of it. Even if you have kids, you can bring them to the zoo and the conservatory, but it's a really great place even if you don't. And there's plenty of different options for your kids, or if you're just coming for yourself for a date night. It is a fantastic and beautiful part of Chicago, not just in the fall all year long, but one of my favorite seasons. In fall, before the cold settles in, they feel like gathering points where the season is on display and the city feels smaller, closer. Lincoln Park in autumn is Chicago's largest park at its most dramatic. Trails weave under trees igniting in red and yellow, and the skyline reflects off the South Pond like a painting. Oz Park takes on a storybook quality, Dorothy and the Tin Man standing beneath leaves that look like fire. The zoo, free year-round, is sharper and calmer in the crisp air. Animals more active, crowds thinned by the season. From the lakefront to quiet garden corners, the park shows how much space the city actually has to breathe. In fall, Lincoln Park isn't just scenery, it's proof Chicago can surprise you with its scale and beauty. I am now at arguably one of the most popular places to come in the fall in Chicago, and that is the Bean. The Chicago Bean is a really great place to be able to come and get some photos because the leaves, as you see behind me, line up perfectly with the Bean to get some good photos. But the rest of Millennium Park and Grant Park, which is near the Bean, is spectacular, and you're going to get the most beautiful fall colors, and there's a lot of great things to see and do and check out while you're here. So I do recommend coming to this part of Chicago for your fall adventure. I do recommend coming early at sunrise though, because you're going to get the best colors if it's a sunny day like when I'm here, and there's going to be less people, so you can enjoy it when it's a bit quieter. only do you have the Bean in Millennium Park, but you also have Cloud Gate, which is right behind this fence. It's an incredible place to come. I love coming in the summer to have free movies in the park. They also do like free workout classes in the park, but it's also can be really beautiful to come in the fall as well when it's not maybe closed off.
You also have Maggie Daley Park in this area, which is a really fun place to bring your kids. It's a really fun park. It's really cool, and it actually only opened up probably less than a decade ago at this point. Next thing to do in Chicago is come to Hyde Park, specifically the University of Chicago, and come check it out and maybe stop at a coffee shop. So as I mentioned earlier, at the University of Chicago, if you're coming there as a non-student or just a community member, there is the Smart Museum of Art, which you can go to. There's also just walking around the campus and some cool art installations, but there's also different events that go on at the university. So I would always go online and check them out, or maybe on their social media channels to know when these cool events are happening throughout the campus.
The University of Chicago feels built for autumn. Founded in 1890, the campus is Gothic stone and ivy, archways framing courtyards that explode with color each October. Walking across the quad, you hear the crunch of leaves, the sound of conversations echoing off walls that have held a century of them. Even if you never step inside a classroom, it's a place worth exploring. Just outside, Hyde Park has its own rhythm. Bookstores stacked high, cafes spilling warmth onto the sidewalks, and tree-lined streets leading to the lake. In the fall, the neighborhood feels like a complete story. History, community, and season all layered together.
All right, so another top thing to do in Chicago is come to Jackson Park. So in Jackson Park, there are many things that you could do, not just walk around or go for a bike ride or go for a run, but they also have some sports facilities like soccer fields, football fields. I think there's tennis courts. So you can also come here and do that and bring your equipment. But there's also a Japanese garden, which is really beautiful, especially in the fall. But also, I think as a extra side note, maybe even better, is in the springtime when the cherry blossoms are coming in. So that's another cool thing to do in Jackson Park as well. And you're also right by the lakefront as well. So really you can do University of Chicago, Jackson Park, and kind of walk along the lakefront, maybe all in the same day if you're looking to make a cool day trip in this area. And again, there's some really cool restaurants, breweries, cafes near and around this area of Chicago. Next up on my list is go to the Science and Industry Museum, which is in Jackson Park. I'm at the beautiful Promontory Point, which is a park on the south side of Chicago. It is also on my top places to come in the fall. It has really beautiful fall foliage, and there's also quite a few spots that if you want to have a bonfire, there's quite a few, as you can see right behind me, along the lakefront, and a bunch of people are here. It's a Sunday on a nice day in the fall. If you're near the Science and Industry Museum, it's just across the way, probably about a 10-15 minute walk, but I do recommend coming to stop by here and going for a stroll right by the lakefront.
Promontory Point is a stone peninsula that juts into Lake Michigan. Built in the 1930s and still one of the Southside's most loved escapes. From the limestone steps, you see two worlds, open water stretching endlessly east, and to the west, a skyline softened by autumn haze. The trees along the path shift into gold, the breeze carries the chill of the lake, and everything feels a little slowed down. Neighbors gather with picnics, dogs chase leaves, couples sit wrapped in jackets watching the waves.
My next recommendation is to come to the 606 Trail that is in the northwest neighborhoods of Chicago. It is actually an old railway line that they've turned into an elevated pathway that bikers, joggers, people walking their dogs can enjoy, and it's about a 2.7 mile long route just one way, and you can obviously do it back, but it takes you through some of the coolest neighborhoods that you can also stop at along the way for cafes, cute shops, you name it. The 606 will have it right off of it as well. I am now in Humboldt Park, which is about 270 acres in the middle of Chicago that I love to come to in the fall. It has, I think, one of the only inland beaches in Chicago in this park. It has a cool old boathouse that you can come to. It's perfect, again, any time of the year, but in the fall with the leaves changing and just being able to kind of have a calm, quiet park in the middle of Chicago on the west side, it's a perfect place.
Humboldt Park is a park with weight. Its lagoons curve under bridges, the 19th century boathouse reflects across the water, and in fall, the whole place burns with color. Families fish at the edge, kids ride through paths thick with leaves. Murals in the surrounding neighborhoods echo the season in bold paint. Humboldt doesn't try to be polished, it just is, and in autumn that honestly makes it unforgettable.
One of my absolute favorite things to do in the fall is to come by the lakefront. Now granted, this is my favorite thing all the time. However, you've got fall leaves changing in the background. You've got that like nice crisp air in the morning. You get to wear a jacket, but sometimes it's warm enough to wear a t-shirt. So it's a perfect place to come bring your pup as well. So if you're coming to Chicago or you live here, I do recommend trying to come out for sunrise along the lakefront.
The Lakefront Trail is Chicago's spine. 18 miles of pavement pressed between water and Skyline. In summer, it's crowded, but in fall, it changes. The air sharpens, cyclists fly past it in jackets, runners leave clouds of breath, and whole stretches go quiet except for the crash of waves. One glance east and it's nothing but lake, blue fading to gray. Look west, and the city rises behind trees burning in color. Few places show the contrast of Chicago better, vast and urban, but still tied to season.
So I am in the Gold Coast neighborhood in Chicago. This is a great place to come to in the fall because not only do you get the fall foliage colors changing beautifully with these tall, beautiful trees, but there's also quite a few beautiful houses as well that do incredible Halloween decorations like the one behind me. So there's quite a few if you wanted to kind of come see some cool Halloween decorations and fall foliage during the month of October.
Gold Coast in October turns into Chicago's haunted stage set. Historic mansions and brownstones line streets already glowing with maples, but the real spectacle comes at Halloween. Skeletons climb balconies, pumpkins pour down staircases, whole blocks transform into haunted displays that are equal parts eerie and elegant. It's not subtle, but it doesn't need to be. The Gold Coast shows that even Chicago's most historic neighborhood knows how to lean into the season. And that's a wrap on my favorite places to experience fall in Chicago. The parks to the neighborhoods to the lakefront, there's no shortage of ways to see this city change with the seasons. And honestly, there are so many others I could have shown you, but that's part of what makes exploring Chicago in autumn so fun. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more travel guides, and drop a comment below with your favorite fall spot in Chicago. Thanks for watching, and happy travels.